What's going on, guys? Today, I want to talk about a couple of important things that I have had on top of my mind, and in general, why I would say business owners fail to sort of get to their goals. And really, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the two real reasons why 99% of real estate agents fail to reach financial freedom within their business. I guess more specifically, it can even apply to business owners as a whole, but more specifically, real estate agents because they're the ones who I really work with and what I've seen over the years. So you know, I guess the first thing you always want to ask yourself is why is your real estate business or why is your business not where you want it to be? What is the thing holding you back? And ultimately, we all kind of know what we need to do to be able to get to where we're trying to go to, right? So, with that being said, the first thing that comes to my mind is what are the needle moving tasks that we need to do to be able to kind of grow our business to where it needs to be. So I'm actually going to work this list backwards. The reason why is because I think step one is more important than step two, but step two is what the primary part of this video is going to be about. So uh, the first thing, where is our pen? The first thing I want to talk about is having a vehicle, or let's just say vehicle. I spelled that wrong. Vehicle for scaling, and let's just say scaling. And then what I mean by this is basically having something that you can utilize as your means to get you from point A to point B in the business. So if you're trying to get to $10,000 a month, what is it going to require for you to get to $10,000 a month? I know as a real estate owner, real estate agent, and you're owning your business, you need to be able to latch onto something that's going to be able to give you predictable results and predictable closings. So working with your sphere of influence, working with referrals, that can get you very far, but it can only get you so far because it's not very predictable. So you don't know when the next referral is going to come in. You don't know when the next individual who's looking to sell or buy a house is going to come in by using your sphere of influence. And let me just be straight up honest here. Door knocking is a viable option, and there's a lot of options that are viable that can make you a millionaire. But I would say in today's world, trying to door knock somebody to try and have them sell their house, or potentially see if they want to move forward with buying another house is an inefficient way that I would say to scale your business. So when it comes to scaling a business and when it comes to kind of actually latching onto that vehicle and utilizing it to get you from point A to point B, I would say I would personally recommend paid advertising. So the reason why paid advertising is predictable is because you have direct data that comes back into you. Let's say you're using Meta. I recommend Meta for real estate agents. Um, B2C ads tend to work very, very well on Meta in general. So paid advertisements is a great vehicle to use just because it is going to be able to give you numbers back, it's going to be able to give you metrics back, and you can use those metrics to see what it is your target audience is latching onto, what it is they're liking, what it is they're not liking, and from there you can kind of split test your advertisements and get to a winning advertisement to be able to print off of it. So once you kind of get a winning ad, you go through your testing phases, you go through everything that's necessary to be able to get you to having what's quote unquote this vehicle. At that point, you want to maximize that. You want to be able to go all in on that, and you want to be able to squeeze the lemon dry, I guess you can kind of say. Um, I'll touch back on this in a second here, but um, the reason why I think ads are so powerful for real estate agents is because not a lot of people know the ins and outs, and a lot of people say that they don't work, and there's some stigma around the industry basically that paid advertisements just don't work for real estate agents, or they've been burned in the past, or I've heard a lot of things, and it's kind of unfortunate because I know a lot of personal um, real estate agents who are very, very successful using paid advertisements. Peter Michael is one that comes to mind. I had a video on him before, and he's down in Florida, absolutely killing it. He's doing wonders for himself, and he utilizes paid advertisement as, I believe, his main source of lead generation. At this point, he's gotten very successful. That he has a lot of referrals coming in, but he used ads as a vehicle to get him to a point where he built his book of business, and now he reaps the benefits of having all those high-end referrals coming in because of all the advertisements that he used in the front end and all the money that he put down on those ads to see the return later on. So highly recommend having a vehicle for success in your business and being able to scale your business. So not just sitting around and hoping leads are going to come in, fall into your lap, or deals are going to close and fall into your lap. Another thing that I want to talk about in this is when you have this vehicle that you latch onto, let's say it's paid advertisements, you then need to be able to make sure that you are converting these leads in the right way or fashion. So these leads are top of funnel leads when they first come in. And, they are inbound to you, so that's obviously a benefit, but they are top of funnel as well. So you need to be able to make sure that you can work these leads down the funnel to get them to a point where they're comfortable moving forward with you and they actually want to move forward with the home buying or selling process. I actually have Hormozi's diagram here. So let me minimize this a little bit. So I have Hormozi's diagram here with the value equation. And this is a great way where you can kind of learn how to convert these leads at a higher percent. This is going to be your go-to for converting leads at a higher percent. So I'll kind of explain this here, and Hormozi talks about this in his book. I actually have both of his books here, $100 million offers, $100 million leads. Recommend reading them if you haven't. But in any case, so the value equation is two parts. The top part, numerator here, is the dream outcome plus the perceived likelihood of achievement. So how likely, I guess the second part, how likely is that lead that you're speaking to going to perceive that you can get them to their dream outcome? So the dream outcome being, let's just say, obviously this one's pretty easy. It's going to be their dream home scenario or, just in general, their dream house, right? So you want to be able to get them to their dream home or, selling their house or basically whatever they have in their mind when they go to sleep at night, what it is that they want to have if they had all the money in the world, essentially. So, in relation to real estate. So their perfect home, right? So can you get them into their perfect home? Now, the second part of the equation is how likely in their mind do they think you are going to be that vehicle for them to get into their dream home? So you want to be able to increase their dream outcome and obviously in their heads what they perceive the likelihood of achievement. So if you can increase that perceived likelihood of achievement by them working with you, that is what you want to do. That's obviously a benefit, and that's a thumbs up, obviously, in my book. Now, the denominator in this equation, which is arguably, I would say, more important, is being able to. This is what's going to separate you from a lot of agents. So if you can show them that they are able to get to their dream outcome and they actually now believe they're going to be able to get there, that's great. But now you want to be able to decrease the denominator here, which is the time delay and the effort and sacrifice. So how much time is it going to actually take for them to get there? If you are able to speed up this process, if you're able to show them some guidance, if you're able to actually be proactive with that lead and get them to their dream outcome in as little time as possible, that is what you want to do. So you want to make sure you're decreasing this, right? So time delay, obviously decrease, and then efforts and sacrifice. What are the efforts and sacrifices that the lead, or obviously let's just say your appointment, needs to make to be able to get to their dream outcome, to be able to get to what their goals are? So if you can decrease what they perceive as their efforts and the sacrifices they need to make to get there, that's obviously another benefit there for them. So again, you want to make sure you decrease the efforts and the sacrifices that your lead needs to make to get them to where they want to be. This is just a general gist of honestly applicable to everything. It can be applicable to how you create your advertisements. It can be applicable to how you handle your conversations and how you convert your leads. And it can be applicable in general to how you just handle business sales as a whole. So obviously this is from Hormozi. If you don't know it, then get to know it. This is going to change your business. Now, going back to the two reasons why I think that business owners fail as a whole. First one, or I guess in this case, second one is having a vehicle that is going to be able to aid you to predictable closings, predictable results, and sales. And the more important one, which I think a lot of people fall victim to, including myself, is losing business because you're too focused on the small things. And Sam Ovens calls this micro cuts, right? So he calls it death by 1,000 micro cuts. And what I mean by this, and I guess what Sam Ovens really means by this in one of his videos he talks about, is if you have a bunch of needle moving tasks, such as converting leads, and you're put in this situation, you want to make sure those are the tasks and those are the things that you're actually doing. You do not want to die or lose your business or not get to your financial freedom that you're hoping for because of these little tiny tasks that get in the way. So a great example of this is when I have opportunities to close deals of, let's just say $5,000, $10,000 deals. I should not be getting confused or losing focus because of, you know, uh, an assistant, needing help with logging into the CRM at the moment, or switching the email header because there is a small little, let's just say maybe thing that doesn't make sense, or updating certain little, let's say, for example, editing this video. These are the little things that are not important and not quite needle moving tasks, and what obviously Sam Evans calls micro cuts. So if you go and do all these little things and you have a to do list, I would say go ahead and throw that to do list out. I actually was told once by one of my mentors, throw out that list. And if you don't get to it in 48 hours, then it probably wasn't important anyway. So don't focus on, the email header, editing the video, getting somebody logged in because they're having issues with logging in, or changing a password, or whatever it may be. Focus on the actual needle moving tasks, which are closing the deals, having the sales opportunities, sales calls, whatever it may be in business, because that's what's actually going to get you to where you want to be in business. Now, going off of this, the last thing I want to touch on, the reason why this is so detrimental to your business is because if you have, let's just say, a sales opportunity in front of you, and you now have a small task that comes your way, you're going to spend 30 minutes distracted on the task. You're going to spend, let's say 15 minutes actually finishing the task, and another 30 minutes to get acclimated to whatever it is that you were actually doing that's important. So in general, now you just lost about an hour and 15 minutes of your day doing something small, which has now wasted your time completely, that you could have had otherwise going towards closing a deal or actually, increasing your sales. So hopefully this was helpful. Make sure you don't die to 1,000 microcuts. Make sure you're actually using a vehicle to scale your business. And in general, just delegate those little things that you're doing. Make sure you delegate those little tasks. Hire an assistant, hire a, transaction coordinator, hire everybody that you need to do, and have those people in place to be able to handle these things when they come your way. So that way you're not losing focus and losing track of where the business needs to go. So hope this was helpful. I'm going to be making more videos like this as they come, and as they come to mind, on things that have been bothering me and things that I've learned in business over the years. So yeah, hopefully you guys find these helpful, and stay tuned for next one. Thanks.